Testing. Okay. Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OHN. This is the Ramsey Show After Show. Okay, that did not look like an. That did not. That's not an O. It needs to be more like that to be an O. OH. There we go. Alrighty. As I said, this is Ramsey Show After Show, and for my financial content, you're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney right now, and so you just scroll down past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist and the music playlist. The music playlist has 11 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Listen to those. My occupation is not a singer, so don't expect great singing, but you might enjoy the Songaroonies. What up, HB? Good to see you. As always, lightly graze the thumbs up. Don't have to smash it, but you can if you want to. It's your device, so if it breaks, I'm not liable. Market report, and hey, look, back up today. Not completely bringing back yesterday's losses, but let's see, where were we? That's where it opened at 10 a.m., but where it was before on the 24th was up there, and so yeah, not back to that, but still green is better than blue. That's not blue, that's red, light red, I guess is what the color is. That color right there, yeah, that's light red, and it's darker red for the arrow. See what the rest of the planet did as far as stock market. Mostly up in Europe, mostly up in Asia, so no one can complain really. They can, everybody can complain anytime they want to, but not as much reason to when the market's up. US dollar up against the euro, up against the Japanese yen, up against the British pound, love. Down against the Canadian dollar, sorry. And the US dollar up against the Australian dollarmite. Australian dollar wanted to be higher, and the US dollar said nar. Let's check futures, see what we got here for tomorrow. So looks good as well. So got some single stocks that were down today. Interesting. This SLS, that's my initials, by the way. But Cella's Life Sciences Group, this was up a bunch yesterday. I don't know if it was up as much as 17, but it was up a bunch yesterday, and so down again today. And so that's what happens. That's why we don't do single stocks. But speaking of single stocks, who do we have today? Oh, no, that's tomorrow. Microsoft, Tesla, Meta reporting tomorrow, and then Thursday, the Visa and the Apple, and Friday, got to get down on Friday, Exxon will be reporting. Most followed single stocks on the Google, Apple up 3.65, Microsoft up 2.87. And very weird, I don't ever think I've ever seen Tesla be either up or down less than 1%. Not that I can recall. So, interesting. We got some news about the market. Nasdaq soars 350 points as the NVIDIA stock rebounds from the DeepSeek crash, and you can see up 7.36% today for the NVIDIA, and that brought up a bunch of the other tech stocks as well. I don't think we have anything else here. Yeah, up 1.8% for the Nasdaq. Oh, by the afternoon, so it's more than that now, right? 1.8. Oh no, yeah, 2.03. Don't think there was any, told you about the major earnings report this week, and so that's it. Slow news day. So we'll get right to the questions. After I check on the chat. What up, T? Thanks for dropping by. HB. Sid. Put keys back in the purse before unlocking the car. And that stuff can happen. That stuff can happen. Maybe, are you able to rest adequately, Sid? I'm going to schedule some naps. HB locked herself out of the house, so apparently I'm not the only one that does dumb stuff like that every so often. Waiting for the dog to do her business, and then she's going to go nap. Okay, and how dare you nap during my show? But normally when Sid does that or does something else, she normally leaves it running anyway, which counts. So naps are always approved. Ground beef stroganoff for dinner. I think Hubs can handle that if I sleep too late. Probably. Isn't he was a cook, right? Just write down the instructions for him. He'll be fine. Woke up at midnight this morning. This is Sid still. Woke up midnight this morning. Belly fell back asleep for like 45 minutes before my alarm went off for the day. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. You got to be more rested than that. All right, let's get into questions. We're on reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. Not run by Ramsey Solutions, but run by fans. If you want a forum, a group that's run by Ramsey Solutions, that would be on Facebook, and it's called like the Ohio State University. It's called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community, and exclusive to Facebook. Dope and pretty. Back of my neck getting dope and pretty. What is that? I can't remember the name of the song. Can't remember any other lyrics either. Back of my neck getting dark. I think it's dark and pretty, like because of the sun shining on it. Hot time, summer in the city. There it is. Okay. Not today, dementia. Baby step 1 complete. So excited and proud. Carry on. Edited to add. Thank you all so much for your kind words and encouragement. This is a big step for me. I've always been one to spend money when I have it. So this is huge for me. Now on to tackling my 2 credit cards in earnest. Thanks again. Baby step 1, Flair. And if it's complete, you should have changed that to baby step 2. Congratulations. Spiritual Tie 5206, the Dave Ramsey radio show caller details. What is it like? I was a new listener as of 4 months ago and decided to call the show about. Let's go ahead and open it up. Decided to call the show about a week ago. Encountered an error. It looks like it loaded to me, dog. About a week ago, I called on January 15th and waited for about an hour and 10 minutes before a man answered asking what my question was, and that's normal. And some people, they get on the phone and it's ringing and ringing, and then they say in the chat that they're on hold. That's not on hold. You haven't been talked to yet. You have to have the call answered first, And then they ask you your question, and if they approve it, they say, okay, hang on, we'll get you on there, and then you're on hold. And you'll be able to hear the show going on while that happens. Just ringing is not being on hold. And so you still got a bunch of things you got to do first. You got to not only have the screener pick up, you also have to get by the screener with a good enough question for that day, in that screener's opinion. Let's see, tried calling 2 other times on other days, but just getting a short message being repeated way too many times on the phone, or the phone would just ring and ring and ring and just hang up on me, right? So this is my 3rd attempt. I ended up being the last caller of the show and called about a little before an hour was left on the show. Okay. Once he heard my question, he said I'd be on the show. Great. And would let me know when. And all of a sudden, I could hear the show on the phone and just waited. That's what I said would happen. 5 commercials went on, then a man named Ryan, then a man named Carlos, then 5 more. I'm going to go ahead and guess that he didn't get on. Then 5 more commercials, and then I was told I'd be on in 3 minutes and waited as George and Ken said my name. I was on like that. Great. Oh, great. Got on. Happy ending here. At the end of the call, the event turned my sound off when the time was over, but I could still hear the show. Right, because when they hit the button on there, it's not like a mute button. It just puts you back on hold. It's not the kill the call button, not the hang up button or anything like that. And normally they hit that when they don't need to hear anything else from you and they've already answered the question, or if they got to wrap it up because there's a commercial break there. Oh, let's see. Oh, what they were saying about the situation. Right, very cool. They gifted my boyfriend and I a 90-day Financial Peace University. Great. 15-minute financial finial is a different word. Financial, supposed to be advisor session for free, and 1 year premium every dollar app. And the guy on the phone sounded so soft-spoken and bored that I couldn't understand a lot of what he said. I never received anything, and he said it would take at least a week for an email. Okay, I mean, if you provided the email, then you wait. You could call the customer care line if you wanted to. It's been 1 week now. He probably didn't write my email down right because he never asked for it twice to make sure, and I never received anything. Okay, you can call the customer care line. It was a total of 1 hour and 46 minutes on the call, and they talked with me for roughly 8 minutes. I got some sound advice. Great. Need to be married as soon as possible, as we already have a house together. That's correct. We just keep things separate, but are very communicative, so none of that. Oh, I see. This is still loading here for comments. So that was the error on here. As of now, we're working on our baby steps separately, but it was amazing to hear a third party analyze your situation and voice what they would do in your own situation. I do not believe the Dave Ramsey show is fabricated at all in any way. Okay, great. Personally had an amazing real experience with them on live air. Didn't receive any of what they gave me, but that was not the purpose of my calls. I'm not upset. Like I said, if there was some kind of mistake made, you can call the customer care line and see if there's anything that can be done about it. Advice is worth every penny when you have no other ideas on what to do or where to head. Yeah, and I mean, they just gave you the standard advice, which is to do the baby steps, and also to not have a house together unless you're married, to not live together unless you're married, and when you are married, to combine your finances, which you doesn't sound like they're going to do. Alrighty. Where is Dave? I think I did this one before. I'm going to guess, since it's, what is it, the 28th? January 28th. I'm going to imagine he doesn't come back till February. He was on the last Thursday night's live stream event. And so he was in Cabo, I think, a little after the first of the year, I believe. But, you know, he doesn't tell us, he doesn't send me an email or text where he is every day. So I don't know. Don't know. They're done for good. Everybody wants to call it. Everybody wants to put it in a box and say, oh, well, it has to be this or that. Oh, he hasn't been here for a month. He's done that before, and guess what? Came back. So, anyone knows? You know who knows? Mr. Ramsey. He's the one that gets to decide. It's good to be the owner because you get to decide all of that. Boo, 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 boom. Sid does leave the show playing. I knew she did. I was just fronting anyway. We'll start. Are they talking about food? Oh, with the stroganoff. Talking about food. And Di only has microwave and air fryer right now till Monday. Now, again, the Ramsey Solutions group on Facebook is called the Ramsey Baby Steps Community. There are a bunch of other ones on there, and including the last time I checked, there are 3 different Ramsey dating groups on there as well. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, and every so often I do answer questions, like if I run out of Reddit questions, I will grab questions from the Facebook group as well. I just cut out their usernames because a lot of time their usernames are their actual names. So, and I have done that before. That's right, Sid earning every penny of the $0 she gets paid for modding. Yeah, Sid says, I'm sure Dave gets enough unwanted attention without posting his travel agenda. True, true, true. Every once in a while, though, they'll post a picture from vacation on his Insta. You can add him on the gram. Like when he and Sharon were on camels, and not George Camel, but actual camels with a C. In front of the Great Pyramid. Sis Jaeger. Realistic 401k return results. Alrighty. What is a realistic 401k return? Is 7% considered average and 10% optimistic? It's 10 to 12% for the S&P 500 average each year. It doesn't mean it's going to hit 10% each year, but that's the average per year, 10 to 12%. And it's been that way over the life of the S&P 500. So what you want to do is at least get that amount, but the best thing to do would be to beat the index, and that's why Mr. Ramsey advises to manage mutual funds instead of index funds, because they make more than they can make more. Not all of them do, of course. You got to find the good ones. But the good ones make more money than the index does, even when you subtract the higher expense ratio for the managed funds. My wife and I have saved $650,000 between our 401ks. We're both 38. 500k in mine, 150k in hers. Salaries are 120k and 60k respectively. We are in OH. There's a better zero. I mean O, not zero. O. I don't know if you saw it at the beginning. The first time I did it, I was watching the playback of it because the YouTube feed is delayed, and I did some kind of V thing. That's not an O. It has to be more like that. So. Employer match is 5% at both company. Okay, my 401k is 100% into an index fund. Not advised. That tracks the S&P 500. Not advised. Where my wife's is in a target date plan. Not advised either. Yeah, too young. Didn't you say 38? 38. Yeah, too young. Too young to be in being conservative. So leaving money on the table, both of those people. and we were trying to retire at 55 using the rule of 55, allows early penalty-free 401k withdrawals, but are now not sure maybe, how to properly project potential ending balances. Well, you're not going to be making as much in those. The S&P 500 index fund should make exactly what the S&P 500 index makes, but her target date fund could be way less than that. And what I always feel obligated to point out is this is what happens with you S&P 500 only people. A lot of people love that because it's not difficult at all. You don't have to spend any time searching for the funds to find out what the good funds are. But look at this. In the past year, S&P 500, 23.13%. NASDAQ, 26.27. So that's 3 point something percent higher. And so in the last 5 years, 115 and change percent for the NASDAQ, and the S&P 88.12. So again, just doing the S&P 500, you're leaving money on the table. So that's also why Dave recommends a split between small, mid, large cap, and international managed funds. And so that's the dealio on that. And if you pick the good funds, if you find the good funds, you put some time in it, learn how to do it. You can YouTube search Dave Ramsey and investing. And, obviously you don't watch the ones critiquing him because there are going to be plenty of those. But any of the Ramsey Solutions ones, even if they're done by George or anybody else about investing, you listen to that, and that tells you exactly what to look for on those managed mutual funds. And of course, you could always hire a SmartVestor Pro to assist you with that. Where were we at? Oh, yeah. So how you would do that? Yeah. So it doesn't say how long they have been investing. Maybe a while, or he has anyway. 650K in there, so maybe he's been doing it a while. But you should check that out. If his is only in the S&P 500, an index fund, that should exactly match that S&P 500 number that we looked before. That target date depends on what target date plan she has, and a lot of times that's going to include bonds, and it's designed to protect the investment once you get close to the retirement date. But the problem is a bunch of them are too conservative even when the clients are younger. So leaving money on the table in both situations. But as far as what it is, the S&P 500, you just use the S&P 500 number that we looked at before. It's very easy. You can go to any finance webpage and it's going to have this on there, and you can see how much it has done in the last 5 years. Maximum 710% over the life of it. S&P 500 might be more than that. Oh, it's the same. Oh no, I didn't hit. And NASDAQ is newer too. 6,988.21. S&P 500 has been around a lot longer than the NASDAQ index. NASDAQ is going to be a large cap, and it's going to have all your tech stocks in there. And so people love the tech, and that's why it's going to be higher. Okay, but as far as this question, again, it's 10% average. 10 to 12% average is what it has made over its life. And the S&P 500 life has been longer than the NASDAQ has been a thing. Alrighty, and so whether you can retire at 55, I don't know. Doesn't say if they have any debt. Doesn't say anything else. Doesn't say anything about a house. Doesn't say. So I would ask this person about all of that stuff, to consider all of that stuff in deciding how much to put to whether to put extra to investing or not. If your house not paid off, you don't do that. You don't do extra investing beyond the 15% of gross income until you get to step 7. What up, Trey? Sid says, if all you have is target date options, choose the one furthest out and update it every 5 years. That's a good idea. Definitely need a bridge investing to retire at 55. You absolutely do. Also, you would prioritize a Roth IRA account that you open yourself that has much better options in it, and max that out even before the 401k. Do Roth 401k if you have the option. Blylstra 93, all right? Bellostro. Don't know what that is. Pay off home. The answer is yes. That is baby step 6. That is a baby step. Baby step 6. Pay off mortgage, and not just pay it off early. Let's see, 31. And have approximately 94K left on my mortgage. And I'm wondering if reducing the amount I put towards retirement for only 4 years to pay the mortgage off faster makes any sense. No, John talked about it today where he stopped investing for 6 months to get after the mortgage and made that happen. I've heard Dave say, like, if you can do it in a year, fine. But other than that, he doesn't want you doing that. Just you put the 15% into retirement, and hey, if you want it paid off faster, work more, spend less, sell stuff you got laying around that you aren't using regularly, cut any other kind of expenses, and that way you can put more on the mortgage. 200K invested into my 401k and Roth IRA. Okay, that you wouldn't take out to pay off mortgage. Invest 12% of income in the 401k and max out the Roth IRA, which is about another 5%. So you're at 17%. So that's a NAR. You're supposed to only be 15% while you still have a mortgage payment. So you're doing it wrong, just by a small percentage, but still doing it wrong. My plan would be to adjust the 401k contribution to 5%, keeping the 5% match my company offers. I would then completely stop my 401k. Yeah, that's going to be a no. 4 years is too long. If you could do it in a year, sure. 4 years is too long. And you don't ever know what's going to happen in that 4 years, where you might need other money and you might have to put extra money into something else instead of the mortgage still. So that's going to be a no. After 3.5 to 4 years, my mortgage would be paid off. That's a no. At that point, I would then start maxing out the Roth IRA again. Well, you're going to do that whenever it gets paid off. From my 401k back to 12%, and then also add the typical house payment. Yeah. And so you would do that whenever the house is paid off. Then you can invest whatever amount you want. As long as you don't have, of course, assuming you would be in step 7 at that point, meaning you don't have any outstanding baby steps, which some people skip and they shouldn't. Wise Homework 3477, burning question about selling cars to get a financial boost. And that is what is often advised, because that can really give you, as it says, a boost. That can make a big difference. Instead of owing $20,000 or more on a vehicle, then you get to change your finances around by getting rid of $20,000 of debt. If you sell the car, unless it's underwater. But even if it's underwater, say you have to have the $20,000 loan on the car still to pay off, and you're $5,000 underwater, Mr. Ramsey's fine with you getting a $5,000 loan to put with the money you can get for the car to get rid of the car. He's fine with you having a $5,000 loan instead of a $20,000 loan, because that gets rid of $15,000 worth of debt. I've been trying to call the Ramsey Show for about a week and have not been able to get through. It's a popular show. I get a message that says a call forwarding error. Oh, we talked about this one before. Call forwarding error occurred. So I don't know what the deal is with that. After ringing an hour on average, the call dropped. Yeah, I mean it could be something going on in their system, because like if you're hearing the message, yeah, you're hearing that message, not the call forward message, but it gives you a message. But if you're getting the message, that's even before you get into the ringing queue, I think, is how that works. I don't think it goes ring and then message, recorded message, and then screener. I don't think that's how it works. I think it would go, but I'm not sure. But that could be forwarding you from one queue at Ramsey to another one, and don't know what to tell you about that. But what's the burning question? I think, like I said, I think we read this one already. Um, yeah, but basically, yeah, you do that unless you only have a little bit left on it and you like the car. Otherwise, if it's $20,000, yeah, you sell the car. The more recently you bought it, the more likely you should sell it, because it'll be less depreciation on it, and hopefully you won't have to put any extra money with it to completely pay it off if you sell it. And then you buy a very cheap beater while you are doing baby steps 1, 2, and 3. Fantastic quality 477 Snowball versus Debt Consolidation, and that's a NAR. Mr. Ramsey calls it CON consolidation, and so that's a no. Might have done. I can't remember if I did this one or not. The subject matter tends to repeat, just as it does on the Ramsey show. Hello, I'm working on baby step 2 currently. I have 5 cards total that need to be paid off. All of them are going to be easy for me to tackle with the snowball method. All less than 2K, great. But my biggest concern is my credit card, which I've had to use for medical procedures. This card not only has the largest amount of debt, 10K, but it also has the highest interest rate, sitting at 33%. Yep, well, that's why you don't get that one. That's why you find another way to do that. So like why wouldn't you, I mean, you shouldn't do debt. Debt should be the last possible option, but also why get the credit card? Why not put it on one of the other cards that have less interest than 33 freaking percent? I'm trying to figure out if I should add this into my snowball. Yes, you would still pay it off, yeah. Or if I should pay off all my other debts first you pay all smallest to largest. So then yes. And then take out a personal loan to pay off my credit card. Let's see, that way I can pay off the debt quicker since it will have a lower interest rate. Yeah, people want to do that all the time. The problem is they do that and then they're not as worried about it, and then they take longer to pay it off. They take longer to get through baby step 2. So the advice would be to just pay it off as quick as you can. So and you getting a personal loan to pay off just that one, you don't need it to pay off the small ones because you can do those quickly. So it's not really consolidation. Consolidation means you're putting multiple debts under as one debt. So as if you were taking out a loan to pay off multiple debts, and this was just gonna be for this credit card, the way I understand it. Yep. It says match beats Roth IRA. That is correct. That is correct. She's correcting me because I forgot to mention that. Yes. Your match in your 401k or Roth 401k would be first priority, and then a Roth account, whether you have a Roth IRA or Roth 401k, you would max that out next, and then you would go to a regular 401k after that. Home, dot, 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 no, three dots. Owners. Wife and I paid off our home in December 2024, just before Christmas. That was a Merry Christmas, I bet. Feels great actually owning our home. I bet a house. I bet it does. We've had the money saved up for some time, but we're doing the whole should we save it in investments or pay the house off game. But you were doing it, okay? And you're not doing it anymore if you paid it off. The company I worked for recently had layoffs, which was a scare for us and made Dave's advice finally hit home. Yeah, nothing like a little trauma to make you say, "Oh, this guy with the less risk advice, he's got pretty good ideas." This episode of the Ramsey Show Aftershow show brought to you by Crinkly Water Bottle. They've been with me almost as long as Sid has been. I've also gotten into a habit of looking at foreclosed houses near me, always wondering, what if? Since buying our house, I've always half joked that this was the bank's house. They're letting us stay in it. Kind of. I'm glad to be able to. You own part of it, though. You own the equity part of it. I'm glad to be able to retire that joke now. Yeah, I'm glad you can retire it as well. Peace of mind that our home is no longer in control of the bank is so great. I'm not going to look at the rest of it. Baby step 4, flare here. Actually, maybe have more baby step 5 and 6 to do. And not in step 7, but otherwise you should change it to step 7 if you're on step 7. And so congratulations either way, that's great. But you shouldn't have paid off the mortgage if you're not, or maybe they're still saving up for kid college, and they prioritize the house because they could get there eventually by the time the kid goes to college, by putting the now mortgage payment amount towards that as well. So that is possible. As John said today, you do have some wiggle room in the balance between steps 4, 5, and 6. But so maybe step 7 for these people. Maybe not. Hopefully they don't have baby step 2 debt and have paid off the house early. So, because that would be you doing it wrong. So we can hope. Coach PJG, what would Dave tell me to do? It's called the baby steps. So you're in baby step 2, then that means you pay off debts from smallest to largest using that snowball method. Let's see what this person is confused about that. I currently have a 22,000. Currently have approximately, that's what that the 2 tildes mean, 22,000. I currently have approximately 22,000, some of which is in a high yield savings account, some in an investment account. The only debt I have is $9K left to pay on my car. I pay the minimums, $271 a month, and I don't give a crap what the interest is. It does not change the answer. I imagine Dave would first call me stupid. You are welcome to, if you feel it's justified. No, I would call you normal. Wouldn't call you stupid. Normal. And then just say to pay off the car right now. He would tell you to pay off the car. You don't debt leverage to keep saving. You don't debt leverage a car in order to have extra savings. You do not do that on his plan. I would still have upwards of 3 months living expenses and emergency fund left over even after paying off the debt. Right. You don't have a full emergency fund on step 2, which is car debt. You just have the $1,000 emergency fund. Anything else should be put to debt. So you were doing it wrong. My only hesitation being that my income at the moment isn't very high, although it is pretty stable at $2,500 a month. I am starting to look into a trades career training program that would see my lifetime earning potential go up. Okay. I don't come from a lot of money, so a lot of this stuff is new to me. Never been a big spender. So I've had no trouble saving money really, as long as I can keep my guitar. I am happy. Okay, you can keep the guitar, empty the savings of 9K and pay that car off. Single male with no dependents, mid-20s, living away from home. If this is relevant, not really. Baby step 2 advice is baby step 2 advice. You do not have extra savings, so whatever you've done in your life, when you get to the baby step, when you find out about Mr. Ramsey, and you look at his baby steps and you say, okay, I'm going to follow his advice. Seems like a good idea. Then what you do is you undo every dumb thing you've done that he says not to do. So then you would, as I say, empty any savings above 1K and pay off that $9,000 car. Guess what? Then you're debt free. Congratulations. And so now you're not debt leveraging anymore. Okay. Talking about risk, debt leverage is risk. And if you don't want risk, don't debt leverage. Doing it feels so good. Just paid off 2 credit cards, 2 to go. I don't know how to add a picture, so picture of debts here. I don't need to see that, but congratulations. Keep going. Striking swim, 23, 22. Investing with the goal of paying off the house. Yeah, you do steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, but in that priority amount. So you invest 15% of gross income, and then the remainder of all the extra that you have, which would be the snowball amount, but the snowball is going in a different direction now, because all of it's coming back to you instead of going to debt. In baby step 3, it starts going right back to you. But it just has an intentional purpose, such as investing or saving for kid college or paying off the house. So you would, in the priority order, you would first invest 15% of gross income out of that extra snowball amount. And then you can, the younger your kids are, the less you have to put away per month for you to have what you want to have for them by the time they're 18 and go to college. And then anything extra after that would go to the mortgage. Now, if you don't have kids, then you don't save for kids that don't exist yet. And then you could just do the mortgage. If you don't have a mortgage and you're going to be renters for the rest of your life, or at least until you change your mind, then you're in step 7 until you decide to buy a house, and then you're back in baby step 3B when you want to start saving down payment. Let's see. I know variations of this question get asked all the time, that much is certain. But I feel like, for me, I'm in a gray area. Yes, everybody thinks their situation is special. I know Dave would say extra cash at the house. That's correct. But curious, was Dave curious what Dave-minded folks would think. Why don't you go with Dave's advice rather than Dave-minded folks, what they would think? You think you're going to come up with a new way of looking at it that we haven't heard before? I don't think so. I owe approximately $500,000 on my home. Recently got a new amazing job and should have an extra $5K a month to throw at the home if I stay gazelle intense with the budget, which I think I can for the foreseeable future. Great. Ultimate goal is to pay off the mortgage, which is sitting at 3 point. Doesn't matter. Interest rate doesn't matter. Sorry. People love to say what it is. It doesn't matter. If I put an extra 5K a month towards the home, I will clear it in 6.3 years. Congratulations. If I invested in ETFs with the plan of pulling out and paying off when it crosses the magic number, average returns of, no, you don't do that, because you're not considering the interest you're saving as well. So you don't do dumb stuff like putting it in the market and then pulling it out to pay the house. You don't do that. You invest 15% for retirement. You don't do any other investing. You don't do investing. You pay it off as soon as possible, and that will save you interest on the house. So that's a no. Regardless of your little math here, your little math probably didn't include the extra interest that you'll be saving, but you never know. But that's still a no. Quebec 132. What's your net worth? Net worth is 2 words. And in which baby step are you in? Might be interesting to give us the motivation to pursue the Dave Ramsey journey. My goal would be a multimillionaire. So when I retired in 25 to 30 years, I want to live with more revenue from interest than our actual income and create generational wealth. My number is 5 million in stock in 30 years. 10% of 5 million gets 500K, which is twice bigger than actual gross income. Since joint, if couple, my situation, income, okay. So whatever other people's numbers don't affect yours. If you do the steps, I mean, if you think Dave Ramsey's baby steps are the right way to go, other people's numbers, what they have, who may or may not be following the baby steps, those should not be the deciding factor whether you do the baby steps or not. So I'm not sure what they're on about, as our British friends would say. Particular Sky 189, job offer 23, man, currently work in a mid-sized suburb outside of Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. I got a job offer to move back home to a smaller town, but still rural suburban in California. Okay, so working in Texas now, originally from California, and could move back. Got a job offer there. Currently make 45K. The offer was for 85K and a company truck. Is this a no-brainer? Yeah, you wouldn't think that there would be a 40K difference in the use of a company truck. You wouldn't think there would be 40K difference in the cost of living there, but you never know. California do take a bite. Of course, love living in Texas, but this seems insane to pass up. I have a college degree. The only problem is you haven't done that job yet. You might not like it. You might not like that company. So that's the only problem with that. And I would go back there. I wouldn't try to buy a house immediately. I would rent for a year while you figure out if you're going to stay there. College degree in agriculture economics, and the new job would be in agricultural sales, and my current gig is not. Okay, so it's not what you're doing now. You might suck at agricultural sales, my friend. You don't know. I'd also, nobody, when people think about stuff like this and taking out student loans and stuff like that, it never occurs to them that, oh, that might not work out. I might not like this. I might not be any good at this. I might flunk out, and then I'm not making enough money to pay off the student loans. So you gotta think about the things that might go wrong. I'd also be moving in with my parents, and Mr. Ramsey does not advise that. I currently pay $1,300 in rent and utilities. To top it off, I currently have around $28K in student loans. Currently making minimum payments of $300 on a 10-year plan. I think if I move, I'd be able to do it in less than a year. Okay. Don't underestimate the cost of living in California versus Texas, though. Everyone I've asked says it's a no-brainer. Yeah. I mean, 23 years old, knock yourself out if you want to try it. That's when you're 23. Doesn't say anything about family other than parents you'll be living with. So like no wife, child, that kind of thing either. So 23, single, no kids. That's going to be the exact time where you would want to try something like this. But I would not, don't assume everything's going to be rosy and everything is going to be 100% better in California. So, but certainly you can try it if you want. Specialist Aoli 9600. Sell stock investment to pay off debt. Single stock should be sold regardless. Mr. Ramsey does not recommend. If it's in a retirement account, you just sell it and not take the cash out and then buy mutual funds with that money. But yeah, if they're in anything in a brokerage account that's not a retirement account, so there's no penalty to take it out. Anything like that, yes, you would take out to put off the debt. So let's say, hi all, new to Dave Ramsey and his rules for money management. My question is, should I, 34 man, sell a portion / all of my stock investments? Yes, if they're in stocks. Some people say stocks and they mean mutual funds. They only have mutual funds, so you don't know. $350,000 to pay off my student loans. Interest rate doesn't matter. And my mortgage interest rate doesn't matter. My stock investments, $350,000, and the student loans and the mortgage are equal $350,000 as well. So I have about $120,000 in my retirement savings and make about $140,000 a year. I'm the sole breadwinner and I have a 2-year-old son. Yes, you would do that. Now, yeah, because you shouldn't be having. So what you're doing, if you had that before you decided to follow Dave's advice, you undo what you've done already. So the advice is to not be doing anything other than retirement investing, and that retirement investing should be only 15% of gross, and all your other money should be going to the house. So, and it can go to the house, and the student loans is baby step 2 debt. Even so, if that's your only non-mortgage debt, that would be gone, and you would probably already have your full emergency fund, maybe in other savings. Otherwise, you'd be in step 3, which you shouldn't do that. You should take enough out for a step 3 as well out of that if you don't have that already. So, but you would sell it all. You would take out, so you get $350 out, and then you apply it to the baby steps, meaning paying off the student loan debt, and then making sure you have enough in baby step 3 for your full emergency fund. And then you're already investing, so you don't have to address that with that $350. And then if you say for kid college, if you already started that, 2-year-old son, you only have to put a little bit away per month with a 2-year-old. And then you're on step 6, pay off mortgage early. So yeah, I would certainly do that. And whether that completely pays off the mortgage, we don't know, because we don't know about emergency fund. But it would get you most of the way there and wouldn't take that much longer to pay off the mortgage early. J. Busy, 1994, question about debt. It's bad, okay? We are doing a good job and have a plan to pay off debt this year. Great. But as winter has progressed, we feel like for us, we need to make an improvement to our house. HVAC system. House, HVAC system. I think it's best to get a good system to ensure no future problems. If it's not broken now, what you doing thinking about that? My question is, do we stop paying off debt to save up for it? No, if you don't need it. If this is a quote-unquote need where you just think you need it, you don't all of a sudden just start doing the baby steps, and then all of a sudden you think about things you can spend money on that you don't need actually to spend money on. If your HVAC system works, that's a no. That's a nar. So you want to do the baby steps instead of whatever you think you're doing. Do we stop there or keep attacking debt and finance the project? No, 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 no. See, what I'm saying is the project doesn't happen unless that HVAC system is broken, and then you would stop and save up for it. You do not go into debt. Debt should be off the table. That's part of baby step 0 is you decide you're going to not do any debt anymore, and you're going to pay off the dumb debt you already took out. So let's see. Edit. Oh, good. Oh, good. So they did it really quickly. Oh, no, they didn't. Where was I? It will most likely be 10K plus to do the whole house. Yeah. So the whole house is not broken. The whole system is not broken. Regardless. But anyway, edit is we have fixed the HVAC system multiple times and the house is getting dangerously cold with a 2-year old. So it is broken. Okay, well, if it's broken, you don't necessarily have to redo the whole thing. You don't want to make it akin to the thing that I say is a good example is when the water faucet is broken in the bathroom, you do not need to do a bathroom remodel. And so you don't need to do a whole house HVAC system. The main unit you might need to replace, but you don't need to replace everything else in the rest of the house. Let's see. So debt we will be putting back to base payment. Our wife student loan is 6K. Student loan of 105K. Nay. Don't do that. In deferment by government to their personal loan, 7K. And so the answer, none of that matters about what the debt you're gonna put back to base payments. Base payments, they mean minimum payments. And if you gotta fix it, you gotta fix it. But you don't do that and make up extra things that you don't need to have changed out. Like the rest of the HVAC system that goes through it, like the ductwork and stuff. You don't need to change all that. That's a nar. Unless the ductwork is broken as well and you got leaks and stuff in there and all your hot air is being lost inside the house. So at that point you would have to do that. Let's just see if there's anything else fun in here. I think we can save enough money by September to pay all in cash and then go back to hammering debt. Okay. The plan would be to stop paying extra on debt that we are doing currently, right? Take the extra money to build up the cash to pay for HVAC system to avoid more debt. For clarification of the original post, we're paying $525 extra each month on debt pending how monthly expenses work out. All right. Well, I mean, the expenses should work out how they are in your budget. And so if you're treating them like you're treating this HVAC thing about trying to expand the spending of it, expanding the scope of it, then that's the wrong thing to do. You're supposed to keep your expenses as low as possible and not just see how they work out. So this person, I would challenge to not do that. If it's broken and you have to fix it, especially with a baby in there, sure, you got to fix it. So save up the money. It sounds like you can save up. You're fine with saving up the money and do it. But if it's getting dangerously cold already, why are you trying to save it up by September? So, I mean, maybe they're living in a place that is not going to be cold anymore. So theoretically, it's not going to be that cold anymore in Ohio. Now that we are, what are we at today? 41 degrees. And so that's fabulous since it was called for being under freezing, below freezing through February 6th. And so now it's not. And it's not going to go in a couple months ahead. The extended forecast is not to go back in there, but you never know. We always get like snow normally. If you count out snow, if you say, oh, the snow's over, then in April it'll be snowing. That does happen. Paying off the house. Competitive note 497. I owe. So off to work I go. Around $80,000 on my mortgage. Interest rate I don't care about. I have had 3 different tax financial advisors try to tell me it is better to put money in a mutual fund instead of paying off my house because they can make more interest in a mutual fund than I would save paying off the house. Could someone explain this to me? Edit. Why doesn't anyone account for how much your house goes up in value over time? Yeah, they should do that, and they should also compare you add to that the amount that that you're saving on interest, and you are not debt leveraging to have more money in a mutual fund. Again, I would direct your attention to the baby steps. So it's on step 4. It says invest 15% of your gross income into retirement. It doesn't say put 1 cent more into a mutual fund instead of paying off your house. It does not mention have extra stuff. So if it is not mentioned, then you wait till baby step 7 to do that, to have extra savings. So that's the dealio on that. Time is it? Should I get a HELOC to protect my paid off home? The sentiment analyst. I heard horror stories that scammers are targeting people who paid off their home and stealing their identity to strip off the equity. Sounds like I am just over concern. That would be over concerned, and that would be 1 word, not 2. But anyone experienced this? No, I haven't, but not intended to use HELOC, but just a lien to avoid fraudster from stealing your identity to strip the equity. No, I'm going to say that's a no, dog. To not put a lien on your property to avoid identity theft. Well, it's not necessarily gonna stop identity theft, but you're talking about being stripped off out of the equity. Protect stuff. You can maybe try putting it in a trust, that kind of thing. Do I pay for mom's cell phone? Good question. Small franchise 1, 2, 3, 4. Baby step 2, but not worried. 6, 9 months left on baby step 2. My mom and her boyfriend broke up about a year ago. I added her to my family plan as being alone. She would pay 4 times the price. It's only an extra $30 to my family plan. She's awful with money. Has no retirement. And always broke. Tried to pay off debt while keeping up with the Joneses. She just financed a brand new 2024 Honda CR-V. $38,000. When she only makes about $42K a year because she works too hard to buy a piece of crap. Yeah. I have been charging her the entire time, but I'm wondering if I should just stop. Well, yeah, it's only $30 a month, but you're not some might call that enabling. If you want to be nice and just do that for $30 a month, that's fine. You can even count that as birthday gift or Christmas gift or both. But I mean that can be just you being nice. It's up to you. You can make that decision. But me personally, I mean I know it's your mom, so you might have different feelings than that. It's not my mom, so I'm thinking. Any person with the attitude of because you work too hard to buy a piece of crap, well then, maybe you pay for your own phone then. Really doesn't affect us at all. Yeah, it does. It's $30 a month you could be putting towards the debt in step 2. That makes your baby steps take longer to do. So yeah, 57 single now. Can't afford a car or mortgage. My mom knows I'm the cheap one who doesn't spend. Yeah, I mean, especially since if it's your, if she never said anything about it or asked about it and it's all your idea, then if you want to do that, knock yourself out. But again, I would just consider that you know, why you're kind of enabling it, but also you could think you're just being nice. And so my money knows on the cheap one, who doesn't spend money, but is it better to just gift this little help for her instead of asking for it monthly? And that's up to you. So you can do that. An individual decision on that. Now it makes your baby steps take longer. $30 a month, maybe probably not that much longer. And so that would be up to you if you want to do. But you also gotta be concerned about, if you do that, is she gonna start coming to you with other needs as well? And if you do that, are you gonna feel like you need to help her with other things as well? So you just need to consider all that stuff when you make that decision. Redstone 00, Redstone in 00B. And EF, emergency fund versus investing as a teen. Man 19, have about 17,000 saved currently, high yield savings account. Great. My only fixed expenses are my mom's PG&E bill. That's electric, I think, which comes out to around $250 a month, as well as gas and insurance on my truck. We have an agreement in place that while I'm in college, finishing my bachelor's, I can stay at our house as long as I pay that one bill. Okay. Should I keep the money in the high yield savings account in case that agreement changes? Yes. Or would it be smarter to invest the money since I really do not need that money anytime soon? No, the advice for teenagers and young 20s still in college is that you, especially in living at mommy and daddy's house still, would be that you just pile up cash. You know, everybody's in a hurry to start investing, but you might need money for stuff like to finish college debt free. And especially if you have debt already, you should be using that money to go to college if you're taking out student loans already. So that's what I would ask, if there are student loans, and you would apply some of that money to what, instead of paying it to current student loans and then taking out more, you would pay it to the next semester, that kind of thing instead. But otherwise, if college is paid for and you don't have any student loans, then you just keep that in a high yield savings account and keep it as piling up cash, and then you only start investing once you graduate college debt free, and you have your full emergency fund out of that money, and then you can start investing as well once you get your big boy or big girl job. Bento boxed in. Who are the most recent giveaway winners? I missed most of the live stream due to work. They will email you if you won. And I think they put in the description, I think, of the event, I think they put the names of the people in there. Let's call that. It's, what time is it? It is 6:36. So we've done our hour, more like hour 10. And so once again, Coach Steve Money at youtube.com/CoachSteveMoney. And financial content is after the Oak Island playlist. New episode tonight of Curse of Oak Island. So we'll be recapping that late tonight. The Ramsey Show, Aftershow, and answering your financial questions and music playlists all have Ramsey associated content in those. So give all that stuff a listen if you'd like. Much appreciated. Once again, Coach Steve Money, I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you have money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation with me at calendly.com/coachstevemoney. You can email me about coaching or anything else finance or anything else on my YouTube channel at coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Donation can go to PayPal.me at coachstevemoney. Alternatively to Cash App, $CoachSteveMoney. Alternatively, yet still, a Walmart gift card to, once again, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams, The Ramsey Show, Aftershow, and that is weekdays at 5:25 p.m. approximately. As soon as The Ramsey Show is over on YouTube, that's when I go live with the Aftershow. Please like, that's the thumbs up, subscribe, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.